Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, April 21st. We are looking at Window Traders market profile of the ES and SPY. Pretty much a non-event here on option expiration. Second smallest range of the year, incredibly. April 11th was the smallest. Our range today is $2.41. Volume is going to be light, not going to be in the top 10 lowest, but it's light. Our range for the week is only 5 and change. In fact, it's our smallest range since 2019. Both in July and November, we had weeks with that type of range. So almost 4 years, we've gone without a range of this small. And that's why 6 or 7 of our smallest ranges this year are in this month. Volume and range has contracted tremendously. What does that mean? Well, it certainly means when we come out of it, we should hopefully come out of it with some good volume and tempo and ranges, right? We have a lot of huge earnings next week with the tech stocks, and then more importantly, we have the Fed a week from Wednesday. So maybe we get some good direction when that's all said and done. I am going to treat today as an inside day for ES and SPY. We barely took out yesterday's low, so I will treat it as an inside day. The daily to me is still down though. It's also down in NQ. Righty is still balanced. We'll go over all those charts. NQ today ends 10 wide. G afternoon pullback, days high and low. Righty ends only 8 wide. H is an afternoon pullback. For us, we end 11 wide out of 13 time frames at M's low. And we take out both overnights and both sides of the IB. So we've taken out both sides of the IB 38% of the time this year. Both sides of the overnights 22% of the time. So that's more in line. That 38% is way, way high from a normal number. I basically broke even today. I didn't do much. I mean, the range was horrible. No volume, no nothing. I think I made a point on the day. I did miss a trade in A period right before the opening. I put a short in at 50. Tried to hit a bid at 57.50 right before the open. Didn't get it. It would have been a nice one because it came right in about 4 or 5 points. But I missed that. I did take a short, though, to go get the overnight low, which we didn't get. However, I did make 3.5 points on that short, even though we didn't get the overnight low at that point. B period, when it started rallying, not when we made a new low, but when it started rallying, I was like, well, we pulled value down pretty good now, so let's see if we keep it over to bring it to lower. I ended up losing 4 points. So I gave back what I made in A. F period, I took a short against the opening and made 3 points on that. And then in I period, I took a short thinking we won't maybe get much above the opening. We did. I gave back 2 points on that. So again, I was at 1 point on the day. The only other trade I probably should have taken, I was going to take a trade short against C's high and value high from yesterday because that's where change took place. Now, did I get too exacting? Maybe. The high in the day is 61, C's high 63. So maybe I got a little too exacting. I should have taken it. But even though I didn't take that, once we broke this one-time framing, you had to figure these longs were going to get shaken out. But we was still above the 144 at that point. So, again, a nothing day, a weird week for me. I had a poor Monday and Tuesday, I had a good Wednesday and Thursday, and I broke even today. So kind of a wishy-washy week. But then again, with a $5 range, those things happen. And more importantly, not only did we have just like a 5 and change range, look what happened inside of that range. We had like 3 gaps. We had attempts at trend days. We had all that, yet we only had a $5 range. So hopefully we get more action over the next 2 weeks with the earnings and the Fed. As far as destinations, on the upside, we have today's high in SPY of 412.68. For the downside, we have 11 wide. That's M's low at 411.52. I will use G's low as a pullback low at 411.25. And today's low of 410.17. In ES, downside, 49 is 11 wide. 46.25 is the pullback low. And 35.25 is today's low. And it's also the weekly low. Okay? So keep that in mind. Let me just see something real quick. That was SPY's weekly low too, right? Had to be. Yes. So today's low now is critically important because we are one time framing up for 5 weeks on the weekly. So defending that low is going to be first and foremost for buyers to keep the one time framing. For ES's upside, so 35.25 was the weekly low for ES. Upside is 61. That is today's high. And then let's break down these charts. So we'll start with our Russell like we always do. It's a year balance. So there's not much to say. It's a year balance on the monthly. Okay? Rip Van Winkle could wake up and Russell will still be in balance. Weekly, guess what? Balance. 6-week balance. So it's not moving anywhere, is it? And the daily, balance. Right? How many days is this now? 3, 6, 9 days. So we talked, if I'm not mistaken, last week we were in balance in all 3 time frames again for the Russell. So what changed this week? Absolutely nothing. So IWM, the righty, is waiting for more market-generated information. Triple Qs and NQ. Monthly. Monthly I'm calling up, right? For now I'm calling up. We did not take out, we did take out last month's high. So one time framing up, we had an outside month up, don't forget. Now, have we gotten much out of that? The answer is no. Last month's high is 321.17. This month's high is 321.63. So we took out the high by what? 46 cents? That's all. So here we are with 1 week to go in the month. And what does the outside month up produce for NQ? Nothing. So we'll see if they get anything more out of it for next week. And they have a small range too, only a $9 one, but it's bigger than ours. Weekly balance. 3-week balance, 4-week balance, whatever you want to call it. But the weekly is balance right now. I'd probably call it a 3-week balance. So if you take out last week's low, I'd call it down. So the monthly is up, the weekly is balance, and the daily is a balance. This is one huge balance here. Look at this. So, I mean, again, that's a bit of a mess. So even though they're up in the monthly, it's just barely. Both these time frames, both these indices, NQ and righty, are all searching for more MGI. Now let's go to ES and SPY. ES. Balance. 6 months. $10.04 range right now for the month. The last time we saw a monthly range that small was July of 2019. We had an $8 range. And where was it? I thought there was one in November. Well, maybe I'm wrong. So, again, here it is. Is this it right here? I'm sorry. No, that's not it. Anyway, very small range. The bottom line is this. We still have a week to go. So a lot can happen. We can make this monthly range a lot bigger. But what we can't do is expand this week's range. And that was small, which is only $5.55. We are healthy, one time framing up for 5 weeks, but it is a small range. So we'll see if the tech earnings move this market and get some distance away to the upside, or do we take out last week's low, come back into balance? With a small range, we could take out both sides of this week's range. But for now, monthly balance, weekly is up, and the daily, I'm calling it down. We're one time framing down for 3 days, but I'm basically treating this like an inside day. Okay? So what does that mean? It means you go with it and monitor it for continuation when we come out of it. So if we take out today's high on Monday, right, which is 412.68, well, we're not that far away then from 417 72. It's $3 away, so you can get some legs, right? To the top of it would be back in balance. See if it gets that. On the flip side, if we take out today's low, which is 410.17, good odds you're going to go test the 20 finally, and then you'll make your pit stops on the way down towards the bottom of this previous balance low. Again, the special has one more week to run. $75 for 3 months, $200 for the year, payable through Venmo or PayPal. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this YouTube channel. I hope you had a great week trading. Rest up, enjoy your weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.